We took a bit of a decent bite out of the deficit of the lock of the night play this past weekend as we were able to easily cash the Ju Sung Yu and Jekka Serigi under 1.5 at plus 125 for a solid plus 6.25 units of profit. But again, we are still far from the goal that we have for ourselves, and we're over the 500 mark, so I'm very happy about that. But still, got a ton more work to do, like I said. So our lock of the night record is now sitting at 23 and 22 on the year for minus 37.62 units and a minus 17% ROI. But we're working. Like I said, we took a solid chunk out of that deficit this past weekend, and we'll see if we can keep the ball rolling with another lock of the night play for this weekend's UFC Atlanta card. This is just the top 3 lock of the night candidates. Only one of these will be the official lock of the night play. The only way to check that out is through the MMA LOTN Patreon page. You can find that in the link in the description below. Again, that's the lock of the night Patreon page, not to be confused with the MMA Fight Archive, which is also in the description below. I might actually remove that for these videos so it doesn't confuse people. But again, I'll be releasing it I've already actually released it to my lock of the night Patreon folks. They already know what it is. So maybe you hop on it as well, or you try to take a guess and see which of these 3 I actually ended up going with. All right, without further ado, let's get right into it. First one up is going to be Jose Ochoa coming in at minus 175 as he takes on Cody Durden, who's going to have some home field advantage for himself here. But I think he's going to struggle to get off on his wrestling style considering the type of striking and aggressiveness we normally see from Ochoa. Ochoa came in as a big underdog against Lonnie Kavanaugh in his UFC debut, but I think a lot of people can say afterwards that he didn't deserve to be that big of an underdog, considering that 2 judges had that fight 1-1 going into the final round. And he is still one of the brighter prospects on the roster, and I think this could be a coming out party for him as he stuffs most of the takedowns, or at least provides a lot of resistance if he does get taken down, but eventually finds that big shot to hurt Durden and quickly follow up with the submission to put the Atlanta native out. So give me Ochoa as the potential lock of the night candidate at minus 175. The second lock of the night candidate is going to be Ange Lusa, who comes in at minus 135 as he takes on Phil Rowe, who's going to be looking to buck a 2-fight losing streak. But Lusa, I think this is a great stylistic matchup for him, as he normally struggles against long, lanky strikers with good physicality, but I don't think that Rowe has that physicality that will cause Lusa some trouble. I think we see Lusa methodically crash the pocket with his big power strikes, but eventually wrap up Phil Rowe where he'll be able to stifle him up against the cage, landing some decent shots to stay busy until he eventually lands that takedown to start smothering Rowe from that top position. I don't think Rowe will have too much success trying to get away from Lusa, and I think he still needs to improve his striking in terms of at least maintaining his distance, as he often has an advantage there. But we even saw a smaller fighter like Jake Matthews last time around continuously crash the pocket and land some big shots on Rowe there, and I expect Lusa to replicate those successes of Jake Matthews and end up grinding this fight out, but potentially casting as a lock of the night candidate at minus 135. The third and final lock of the night candidate is going to come in the form of a total, something that we cashed last week, but we did fall the week prior in the Zach Reese under 1.5. But I feel solid about this one with Mansoor Abdul Malik and Cody Brundage. You got the under 1.5 currently sitting at minus 170, and I think this is a decent spot to take a shot on as a potential lock of the night play. We know Brundage has some solid or very bad durability issues, and we know Abdul Malik has very good power and has finished every single one of his opponents. I think that we'll see him crash the pocket effectively here. I don't think Brundage will have as much success as what Nick Klein had against Abdul Malik last time around in terms of holding Abdul Malik up against the cage, but I also think that was a good learning lesson for the youngster in Abdul Malik, as I think he'll be able to shut down most of those grappling approaches from Brundage. And then we know Brundage doesn't mind throwing in the pocket even if it comes to his detriment, and I expect one of these guys to eventually go down. There is a ton of chalk on Abdul Malik, which makes a lot of people believe he'll be the one to score that knockout, but as long as somebody gets finished within 7.5 minutes, it's a potential lock of the night cash for us. There you guys go. Top 3 lock of the night candidates for UFC Atlanta. Let's see if we can cash back-to-back lock of the night tickets here. And also, We have 4 other events going down this weekend, and I'll more than likely have a lock of the night play for every single one of them as well. I'll be dropping video breakdowns for PFL and LFA. I was hoping to drop the PFL breakdowns today, but there are missing odds for one of the fights right now. So I think that breakdown will actually come out on Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. The LFA breakdown will come out on Thursday, and then OKTAGON and KSW breakdowns will strictly be on the Lock of the Night Patreon page. Once again, that's where you'll be able to find the Lock of the Night plays for this UFC card and all other cards that I normally cover. All right, that's a wrap on the Lock of the Night candidates. I'll be back tomorrow for hopefully a PFL breakdown, but also the Chalk or Not segment for UFC Atlanta. See you guys then. Peace.